My next guest has lived in Britain for the past 20 years, raised his kids here, and he's absolutely desperate to get ambulances, National Health Services ambulances sent out to the Ukraine, which is the country that his family, his heritage is based. He's done some amazing things, including doing a bike ride all the way from the Ukraine to the UK, and has met some amazing people along the way. So Andrei Velhosh is the co-founder of United Ukraine Fellowship Charity, and I'm delighted to say joins me now. Andrei, thank you so much for your time. Everyone can be concerned. Everyone can be like, I want to do something. What drove you to focus on ambulances?
Once the war began, I was looking for something to do for Ukraine, and I noticed a friend of mine purchasing an ambulance. I contacted him. It was his idea. He purchased his first ambulance out of his own pocket, and then we united with a few friends of us, and then we started fundraising, and that's how it began. Because ambulance is the most human things you can imagine, so that's why.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I said, you've just done a bike ride with somebody very famous. So I'm going to let you talk us through what it is that you've done to raise money for this excellent charity.
The idea of bike ride was born at the moment when we realized that the length of the front line in Ukraine is actually equal to the distance from UK to Ukraine. And at that moment, we started saying that we need to bring it up to let Europeans know that, let them realize that Ukrainian war is not something local. It's the full-scale bloody war, and the best way to show it is just to drive it is not that exciting. To cycle it, and on the other side, by cycling it, we wanted to demonstrate as well that it's not that far. And you can literally cycle to the war. So war is within cycling distance from your home. So this is the idea of the whole cycling ride.
And you came across, as I said, somebody who's very well known, the Angel of Mariupol. Tell us about that.
Yes, Tyra is currently in the UK, and she's undergoing treatment after being in captivity, and she's a paramedic herself, and she knows exactly what situation with ambulances is in Ukraine. And when we discussed it with her, she said, actually, that's what I'm fighting for the last 8 years. Because our idea is not just to raise funds, but also bring attention to the problem. That the shortage is huge. And then she was very, she was happy to join forces, and hopefully we're going to have a bit more in the future.
It must be difficult. It must be difficult. You must have many loved ones in the Ukraine. And, we talk about it, but actually from a personal point of view, you're seeing areas that you maybe grew up in or went to school in, and going back to see them now, or even seeing pictures of them. I mean, what sort of things are you seeing that just breaks your heart?
It's very hard to explain, because in fact, one of the missiles landed in Lviv, where I am from originally, literally in an industrial area where we used to play when we were kids. And you know the area, and now it's been hit by a missile, and it's something you can't actually, you can't comprehend it in your head. How is that possible? And the other attack on Lviv, the missile landed literally 300 yards away from where my brothers live. And when I used to visit Lviv, I used to stay in his flat. So I know the area very well, and you can imagine it. And now but still, as I said, you can't comprehend it. It's something surreal.
Yeah. And you, obviously, as you said, it was right near your brothers. Must be that fear all the time. What will you hear? And that almost following every single thing on the news with that awful feeling.
100%. You're literally scrolling the news, and each time, it might sound wrong, but you're looking for your familiar places. You're looking for places where you're from, where your parents from, and obviously, yeah. Sort of with time, you get to understand that, yeah, the war is there. The cities and places are being hit, but as a human being, you're looking for the closest to you, and it's wrong in a way, but that's how we all live at the moment.
It's natural. I think it's natural because, like you described, it's hard to, even think in terms, that was the place I played as a kid, that's my past. And losing your past in such a brutal way must be absolutely horrible. So when you went to that bike ride, I mean, where did you actually start from?
We started from the border. We started from a town called Medyka. It's the little town on the border, Polish-Ukrainian border. But to that point, the flag I have at the back, the Air Assault Battalion, the flag was delivered from very eastern part of Ukraine, from the front line, by bicycles as well. So Ukrainian cyclists got together. They collected this flag in Kharkiv region, and they literally pass it from hand to hand throughout the Ukraine. It's another 1,000 kilometers to the border. That's where we pick it up. And then we cycle through the Europe, through Poland, Czech Republic, Germany, France, and then UK.
Did people see you along the way and talk to you, or say how sorry they were, or talk about their feelings about the war because they could see you, riding through their town?
Yes, we were deliberately looking for those meetings. Alongside us, we had one of the ambulances. We had a few friends of us in it, so they were moving from point A to point B, organizing a meeting in the place. So we were as one of the parts of this presentation, let's call it this way. So they were telling about what's going on in Ukraine. They were telling about the situation, what's happening there. They were telling about our appeal, and then we were meant to appear and tell our side, our part about cycling, etc. We were late for a couple of them, unfortunately, due to distance and weather condition, but most of them we managed to do on time. And yeah, that's how it was. Every day, one city. Every day we were...
Another city. Yeah.
Yeah.
And had you ridden a bike that distance before, or was this the first time?
First time, to be honest with you. I did some...
ouch!
Yeah, I did some...
I'm saying ouch, it must...
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes, it was worse than that. So the maximum length distance...
Wait. What do you mean, Andre? When you say worse than that, I mean, did you get injured? Did you get sore?
Yeah, I've got blisters all over my body, and you can imagine where the biggest blister I had, and it was really painful. My head was literally falling off. So at day 7, I had to strap it from the back. So I had the strap attach it to the back of my helmet, and then to my waist, and then it was like I was literally my head was on the rubber like that. So otherwise I wouldn't probably be able to finish it, because it was all this part of my upper back was in pain, and same in my bottom side of my body. But yeah, the longest distance I did before was 100 kilometers at a time, because I did some triathlon,
right.
And you're not normally doing that much cycling daily. And whereas here was, yeah, the main mistake was little preparation and physical preparation. So I wish I did a bit more.
Yeah. Wow. That was, so it was you. How many of you were actually cycling together? It wasn't just you on your own.
2 of us started, and then the third member joined us in Prague. And thanks God to that, because it was like a fresh blood team, and he sort of started pulling us like virtually. So you always need to have somebody in front of you so you can follow, because the final leg was from Brighton to London. I was doing on my own. It was literally a real nightmare. When you have nobody in front of you, nobody sort of cheering you up, it's just like, it was one of the hardest stretches, although it was one of the shortest. But with an idea in mind.
It's this, isn't it? It's your head.
It's your head.
It's your head. What's
100%.
happening in your head?
100%. 100%. And the way you think and you imagine what my what army or people who are in the front line getting through at that moment. Having a cycling ride throughout Europe was not that painful. And you sort of like, oh yeah, I'm just cycling. Yeah, it's a bit of pain. It will go away. So keep going. And that was the way of I keep saying to myself. I kept saying to myself.
So do you know how much you managed to raise to I mean, I don't know, how much does an ambulance cost to buy?
It depends on an ambulance. An average price for a proper ambulance is about £7,000 to £10,000. You can have a smaller one. If you're talking for evacuation vehicle, it can be from 3,000 to 5,000. We're talking about second-hand, decommissioned, etc. I believe we're still counting it. We still have a few streams to finalize, and it's in a circa of, we're probably going to purchase about 3 ambulances, I believe, out of it. But
oh, I hope so. I hope so. So if
point.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, if people want to contribute, if they want to send money to help you buy these ambulances and get them out to the Ukraine, what do they do?
They should go to uuf.family. That's our website. And on that website, there are lots of different ways of donation, making donation. But
it sounds, I mean... yeah, so people need to go to your website, United. Just tell us again. It's called
uuf.family.
uuf.family. Thank you so much, Andrei. And thank you for what you do, because a lot of people commiserate and a lot of people are upset. But as you say, you absolutely took action. Andrei Velhosh there, raising money for ambulances. Coming up, we've got a lot more that we look into, are up close and personal, when we really put somebody under the microscope and see what they're doing with their lives. All of that and a lot more here on TalkTV right after the news headlines.